Okay, so Wednesday is day 2 at the festival, and it starts with the 1:30, the Ballymore Novice Handicap, and we've got a very short price market favourite here, Champ. Well, I think he's quite short. He's 5-2. He's not done a lot wrong since going over hurdles this season, and I was very impressed with his winning the Cello at the time, but that form hasn't worked out that well. Getaway Trump, Caterson have both come out and ran quite poor races, so I'm quite happy to take him on. I'm going to take him on with one at I think quite a decent price here. It's 12-1 for Dan Skelton. The horse is called Beakstown. Now it's 2 wins from 3 starts for the Skeltons since going over hurdles. Most recently it won at Warwick in a Grade 2. That's a decent race. It's thrown out in the past horses like Willoughby Court, the new one. They've both gone on to win this race at the festival. I think 12-1's a good price. At the time, they were thinking maybe keep it for next year. It's going to be a better chaser in time. So I think the fact that they're running it now is a sort of clue that they're quite confident. 2:10, we've got the RSA Chase, and one of my most confident bets of the week here, Delta Work. Been backing him all winter. He's currently around 7-4. That price has come in a little bit with a few issues regarding Santini, one of his main market rivals. But I've been thoroughly impressed with Delta Work all winter. It won the Drinmore Chase over 2.5 miles, beating Larichburg, who probably would have gone on to win the Arkle had it been fit. 3 from 3 for Gordon Elliott since going chasing, and yeah, he won at the attempts last year, so festival form, always good. 7-4 looks a little bit on the short side, but I'm pretty confident that there's nothing else in the field that's going to get near it. I can see this winning the Gold Cup one day, to be honest. Delta Work for me, 7-4. Next, 2:50, we've got the Coral Cup, which is one of the big handicaps of the day. It's a very tricky race to work out. There's only been 2 favourites in the last 25 years, and last year we had a 16-1 winner, the year before 20-1. So it pays to think outside the box. The one I've come down on, I think it's quite a ridiculous price. It's 25-1. Apple's Shakira, full sister to Apple's Jade. I think we've sort of forgot about this horse a little bit. Last year it came to Cheltenham as a 4-year-old in the Triumph. It was unbeaten over hurdles. It went off 6-5 favourite and faded back into 4th place. They've not really ran it much since then. It's still only 5. There's still room for it to improve. Obviously its handicap marks actually come down from when it ran in the Triumph. It's £6 lower than that with an official rating of 140 now. I've got a feeling that even if they don't even need to really improve much, just recapture their old form from last season, and it will go quite close. 25-1 looks a big price, and especially considering we've had some big price winners of this in recent years, I will be having a few quid each way on Apple Shakira. Next is 3:30, the Champion Chase, the feature race of the day, and we've got one of the best horses in training, probably one of the best horses of the last decade in Altior. He's 17 from 17 over obstacles, surely going to make it 18 from 18 and cement his place in history. 2-5, odds on, very short, not really a betting race for me. If you want to have a bet without the favourite, if you're into that, you've got Min at 5-6 who travelled really well through the race last year before finishing 7 lengths down to Altior. Maybe play the straight forecast if you prefer, because I think the same 1-2 will be exactly what happened last year. Next up, my favourite race of the week. It's 4:10, the cross-country race, and one of my favourite horses in training, Tiger Roll. He's back. He's going to win. He won the Grand National. He won the cross-country last year. He loves Cheltenham. He won the Triumph as a 4-year-old. He won the 4-miler. He's a brilliant horse. He even won a hurdles prep race for this, which Gordon Elliott at the time said he's 75% fit, and they didn't really fancy him for it. So if he's winning them, he's going to take the world of beating here. 11-10 is sure enough. I'm sure a lot of people will be having him in a double with Altior just to boost it up a bit. 450, we got the Fred Winter Juvenile Handicap. Another very, very difficult handicap to look through. Some of the winners of recent times have been sort of 33 to 1 and bigger. I've come down on Paul Nicholls' horse. He's got a great record in this race. Paul Nicholls has had 3 winners in the last 9 years. He's only got 1 runner, which is quite strange considering he did have a horse called Friend or Foe, which was quite short in the market. I'm not sure what's happened with that. But the horse he's got is called Dogon. It's 25 to 1. It's pretty much sort of fits in with a lot of the trends. 9 of the last 10 winners have carried 11-2 or less. That actually rules out half the field if you're going on that trend this year. But I think this is, to be honest, it's a wide open race, 25 to 1. It sort of fits a lot of the trends, these sort of French horses that Paul Nicholls picks up, and can just eke enough improvement out of them to exploit the handicap mark. Finally, the last race of the day is the Champion Bumper. It's 5:30. It's not a race that I've got a lot of confidence in. Normally I look to back a Willie Mullins 5-year-old. He normally has 5 or 6 runners in these sort of races. He's only got 1 this year. Blue Sari, he's 4-year-old. He's very short in the market at 4 to 1 for a horse that's only had 1 race. I'm going to side with a bit of experience over it. Another market rival at the top of the market is Envoi Allen for Gordon Elliott. He's 4 to 1. Now, he's had a little bit more experience than Blue Sari. He's won a point to point. He was bought for 400 grand, which I think is quite a lot of money for a horse that's had 1 point to point. But Gordon Elliott's very sweet on him. He thinks he could be a Gold Cup horse one day, and if he's going to be a Gold Cup horse, he might just smash these out of the park, really. As I said, he's 3 from 3 from bumpers. He won a Grade 2 bumper last time out. I wonder if Jamie Codd's booked to ride. I've not checked, but if Jamie Codd's booked to ride, I'm sure we'll all be lumping on anyway. Okay, that's it for Wednesday's tips. Hope you all have a good day. Bet responsibly, but bet with passion.